Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your host, Sonja Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country.
Hi, everybody. Sonja Babich here with Wedding Day Podcast. We are here in sunny Arizona at the Scottsdale Resort. My co-host today is Chelsea Gibson, the editor of Arizona Bride and Oregon Wedding Day, and the managing editor of California Wedding Day. But we are sitting here with our friends, Ashley and Meagan from Your Jubilee Weddings. They have been doing this for 12 years and have completed and produced 350 weddings. So welcome, guys.
Yay. Thank you. We're so excited to be here.
Well, I think our story began last year with Best Of, and you really set the bar high.
I know. Well, that's our goal with everything we do.
We're very competitive. So once we said yes to doing the Best Of event, we want to be better than LA.
We wanted to be the best of.
Yes.
The best of the best.
And we loved planning. We had so much fun.
Yeah. Well, everybody just absolutely enjoys you too, wants to work with you. And when we had the opportunity to get to know you, it's just like 2 pieces of puzzles coming together. Yeah. We just enjoy you guys. And we knew that you would deliver, and you did.
It was fun to not just like promote your work in the magazine or whatnot, but sort of partner and see you pull together something real time. It was cool.
But the thing about you two, you guys do it with a smile. And of course, I know Shelby's here too. Shout out to Shelby. But you two just like keep that smile on, and you're just relaxed. And that's how it should be when you're working.
That's the vibes we always want with any client. If it's a corporate client, obviously wedding couples, that's our main bread and butter. Like, we want people to have an amazing event and also have just fun and feel relaxed throughout. Like, we love when a couple says, like, everyone's asking me if I'm stressed, but I say, no, Megan's got it, Ashley's got it, Shelby has it. Like, I'm not stressed at all.
That's the
with
goal.
the planning, because they have us. And there's so much in this market, and there's been lots of ups and downs with other companies and just different vibes, and our vibe has always been one of collaboration, fun, and like relaxation, I think.
We put a lot of time and energy into the work that we do, and if we're not having fun doing it and we're not doing it with people that we really respect in terms of like who they are, and we can have fun with them, then what's the point? So I think we've built something that is fun for us to do, even though that's not to say that we aren't like a duck, you know, where their legs are like underwater going like this, but above water they're just floating gracefully.
That's a great terminology.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I mean, that's the goal, right? And I always laugh when people are like, yeah, I'm not hiring a planner or a coordinator. I'm like, okay, because
that is the look of Chelsea.
I don't try and get that look, but because you are pros. Like, all the questions that they don't even have, they know they have yet, like, you already have the answers. And it's
But you also are so, like, you deliver a confidence. Like you said, you may be like probably like this,
but you're just like, everything's great,
smiling, having fun, and also nice.
Yeah, we communicate a lot with our eyes. So
well, you need to know the nonverbals.
I'm sure many years together you have the look where it's like,
Well, we've known each other for 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's actually offensive to say out loud.
I was gonna say,
I didn't know that.
Since we were 3.
How did you? Tell the story. How did this happen?
Well, she's a twin, but not mine.
Yes.
And
identical?
Yes, I have an identical twin sister.
Stop.
And so we went to college together, but she was closer with my twin. Like, we were close, but not as close as my sister and you were.
Yeah.
And so we've just known, and we still,
we're still really good friends, but like,
I'm sure
I
twins
spend
stick
the
together,
majority of
and
my
then
life
you
with
just
her.
are the triplet.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we've known each other since college and post-college, and then one day over happy hour and drinks, we were both kind of complaining about our jobs, and we looked at each other and we're like, why don't we just do something? Like, we are young, but we were younger then.
We're all young.
Roughly 12 years younger.
Nothing to lose, you know? So we just like dove into this industry not knowing if it was going to be planning or something else. And Your Jubilee was born from rum and Coke and wine and whatever you had that night. Probably vodka soda. You don't drink rum.
Probably vodka soda. Yeah.
Where does the name come from?
Yeah.
So really early on, we actually invited a lot of our friends and the people that we care about and that know us the best to a dinner. I think we called it like the Think.
It was a brunch at my
It was a
house.
brunch. You're right.
Box brunch.
Think box brunch.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either. But we threw out a bunch of different names, and the reason that we landed on your Jubilee is because Jubilee is a spirited celebration. And we also think it's really personal, so it's your Jubilee. And when we first started, we did all kinds of events. We were in the bat mitzvah scene for bar mitzvah scene for a long time. We did nonprofit events, we did showers, we did all the things. Now we really focus on weddings, and it's one of the biggest celebrations of your life, so it should be a spirited celebration.
That's awesome.
That's so cute.
I did not know that. I love this.
I know. Yes. I love that.
So speaking of just overall, like you two just being rock stars, so many wedding professionals want to be under your like umbrella, right? They want to be your photographer that you recommend, skincare, hair, florist. Like, how do you decide who to utilize for that couple? And like, I'm sure all these different weddings are delivered to you, and they're all different requests and needs, but like, how do you decide? Because you work with so many great wedding pros.
It's so wild to even like hear people say that to us, because for so long, you just hustle and hustle and hustle. I mean, we're still hustling, but you don't think you're ever going to get to that point. And then when you're at that point, you don't reflect on it as much.
Yeah.
So like, that's crazy to hear even that question,
Well, no, seriously, I get wedding pros come up to me and be like, can you introduce me to your Jubilee?
That's so sweet. That's insane.
That's so embarrassing.
Well,
And of course, knowing like me, I'm like, oh, let's go, right?
Yeah,
Knowing
exactly,
you two,
yes.
like they want to meet you and hear your story. But like, how do you decide?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is relationships. Like we invest so much into the wedding community in Arizona and everywhere, but specifically in Arizona because that's where we're based. And we really spend time to get to know vendors from every single category. And because at the end of the day, a lot of people can be good at what they do, but if they aren't like really good people too, then I don't want to pair them with my couples, because we've been really lucky. We have like everybody always asks us like, what are our horror stories about our weddings?
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me to come up with some because we've had very, very few.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to give my couples, because they're so awesome, to anybody who isn't equally awesome. And so for us, that's like, we have to build authentic relationships with people, and we spend a lot of time doing that. So we might have met somebody a year and a half ago that we've been like slowly building a relationship with, and we might finally be to the point where we're ready to trust them with one of our couples. And so that's kind of it for us.
And on wedding days, it's such a tough emotional day or weekend of events. Like, we want to hang out with people that like we like hanging out with,
Right.
Like,
I
we're
was-
with them the most.
Exactly.
And same with the couple, but like we interact with them so much throughout the planning process, but especially on the weekend, that like we are sacrificing time away from our family, events with our family, all this stuff. So I want to hang out with cool, fun people that are going to be yes people,
Team
carry
players.
the load for us, team
Yes
players,
people.
like, and just be able to like sit down and like enjoy the vendor meal together and laugh.
Yeah.
And
And I think at the end of the day, a wedding, ideally, only happens once in your lifetime. We don't get a second shot at it. We don't get to, you can't be like, well, that's not in my contract, because that day it doesn't matter. We're producing a once in a lifetime event that we don't get to do again. So having yes people on our team and people that we trust are going to show up, they're going to leave their personal baggage at the door, and they are going to show up and be 100% for that couple, that's paramount.
And I've had vendors even come up to me like after they get on site and say, hey Megan, X, Y, and Z just happened. I need to offload this to someone, but I'm committed to this event. And I had so much respect for them. And I was like, thank you. What do you need? If you need to pull me aside throughout the event so you're on your A game, like you can vent towards me. I'll get you a soda or water or whatever you need to be at your A game. I have so much respect because we're all humans, right? Life happens. And so like sometimes you do just need to vent to someone and let it go and then show up. And so
That's true
You know?
professionalism.
Yeah,
it
100%.
really
I was
is.
like, I had so much more respect for them from that moment on, and we used
Well, and
them
that's how
over
we
and
are
over
with our
again.
team too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that you talked about like saying the yes, like being a
Yeah.
yes person, because there are wedding pros that are not. And I'm like, how can you guide couples to like how to spot that in that initial interviewing process? Because
Yeah.
those days when you get, I remember my videographer coming up to me like, oh, I'll stay for additional 2 hours
Yeah.
if you pay me this.
They're so grumpy.
And I'm
why are you
like,
in this industry?
well, duh, I'm asking you to stay longer. I know I'm going to pay longer, but I know it's protection. I know they have to say that for protection.
I mean, I think it's a thin line, right? Because I don't think you could meet a tenured wedding professional that hasn't been a yes person and then gotten screwed over. So
True.
there is a thin line, but I think that's one of the things for us is like we want to make sure that the vendors that we work with trust us to know that we will have their back and support them and make sure that they get what they deserve for whatever extra thing that they are going above and beyond to do.
Yeah.
But we need them to be able to just do it.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, for couples to spot that in people, it's tricky, right? Because you, as a couple that's going into a wedding, you have never planned such a large scale event before in your life, most likely, unless you're in the events industry. And you're spending so much time researching, like let's just use photographers as an example. You're not going to find one photographer and be like, oh, that's the one. Like you want to see all of the options. You start to notice, oh, there's different styles of photography. There's different amounts of hours. Do I want them to cover my welcome dinner as well? Do I want them, like, there's so much information. And then that's like almost secondary.
that's true.
Like, okay, well, I like their work. I like what is showing on their website. Now I get on a call. Oh, but they have a terrible consult.
Oh yeah, they're not vibing.
Like you don't have the vibe.
Yeah.
And that's super important.
But sometimes people are incredible, but they're just not great at sales because we're creatives. And that's really where a planner comes in, is because we can be the salesperson.
Right.
It's like, hey,
I love that.
We're introducing so-and-so to you. They're awful at sales, but just trust us. You know,
Yeah.
like just trust that
Like
you're
they
so
are
good at
going
your
to
job.
be the energy that you need on your wedding day because we know you and we know them, and you guys are going to be like
a good marriage.
best
Matchmakers.
friends on your wedding day. But the sales process is gonna suck.
Yes.
You're
love
gonna think
that.
that they don't have anything to say. We're trying to fix it, but
You're like the go-between and the experts. So you're just like, once you have the trust with the client, then ideally it's like, just trust us. We know who's going to be the perfect fit.
Totally.
Going back to like the add-on time, like say things are going and you're like your photographer's done or something happens, whatever, right? You need more food or who would you like recommend for the couple to assign that task of like who do you guys recommend, like if there's a curveball and you need to have a point in contact to make a game day decision that because you don't want to interrupt the couple on their wedding day?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think it depends on the
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah, like do you
Yeah.
have
I
that
think-
conversation with them before?
I think
Yes.
I don't even know if we have to have the conversation. Sometimes it's like if we know that the bride is super involved, or the groom, if one of the people are super, super involved and they are very, very emotionally attached to every decision,
Have
Right.
the timeline memorized.
then
Yes.
they're the person that
yes, they
ultimately,
do.
then they are the person that ultimately has to give that yes or no for their own personal piece. Because if they see that something's changed and they didn't approve that, that's what'll cause the meltdown.
Yeah,
Oh.
they'll come up to us and be like, why isn't this happening or this happening? So we just,
But if they're more hands off, maybe that's a question that we're going to ask to the mother of the bride. Maybe that's a question that we're going to ask to the brother of the groom. It just depends on
The dynamic.
Yeah, the dynamics and who it is that they trust in their lives, or if they don't trust anyone but themselves, then it has to be them.
and I feel like a lot of things, like photographers staying an extra half an hour to get the cake cutting, like we've built our relationships and vendor team that sometimes they're like, yeah, of course we're going to stay and then we'll bounce. Like it's not that big of a deal because they respect us. They want to have that complete story told within the album. And like, it's just like a give and take sometimes because they're yes people and they know that they've buffered their package enough to include that. And because like, again, things happen on wedding day. So timing might be slightly off.
Right.
But
And it's another reason that like having a planner is so critical, because we use the same people over and over again. So they want to continue to work with us. Like we do a lot of work to make sure that we are taking care of our vendor teams. And that's not necessarily true of every planning company. And so people want to work with us. So when we have to ask for the big ask, they are much more likely to say yes. Where if you're a couple trying to do it on your own, they don't have to say yes to you because they're never going to see you again. Where they're going to see me probably once a month.
Yes. Well, it's just, again, like you said, it's so important to have a planner. It's just like anybody that's listening or watching, like you have to have a planner. It changes your life and it allows you to enjoy your wedding day.
Well, and only about 30% of couples hire planners, which is shocking.
Is that the statistic?
I did not know that statistic.
Yeah. We're one of the least hired categories in wedding planning.
I would have guessed.
It's significantly higher once you move past like average weddings. And I say that
Budget-wise.
with parentheses because like I don't see those averages ever.
Yeah.
But when you get into like high-end, more luxury weddings, of course, that percentage is significantly higher. But when you're looking at weddings as a whole, 30%.
So you asked me a fun question at, where was it, Society Privé, and budget, because it's one of those things that nobody really discusses, and I told Meagan gives me heartburn a little bit talking about it. So I'll release some of my heartburn. How does those conversations go working with a couple? And are they like sticker shock sometimes when you're talking about budget?
We are so jaded at this point in the industry, but couples, yes and no. I think like we're very upfront from
our consultation.
From consultation and signing. We ask about budget the very first time they meet us, because we don't want them to be shocked throughout their entire process. And we're very open about pricing and budget. Like we post it all over Instagram.
Yeah.
Ashley loves talking about money.
I do love talking about money.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that's talked about a ton in the wedding media, we decided that we wanted to start sharing about it more. So we've been posting real couples budgets. Now they're very vague because we don't want to like pinpoint exactly which couple it was. But we want people to see that if you are looking to produce a wedding that is the ones that you see on Instagram, the ones that you post or tag, you repost over and over again on Pinterest, they are not $30,000 weddings. They are typically like $100,000, $300,000, all these numbers. And those numbers are shocking. That is not to say that a wedding has to cost that much money. It doesn't. You can go to the courthouse, you can get married for $150. A wedding is a luxury. And if you have the luxury of being able to invest in a wedding, then you should know what those things are going to cost. You're creating an experience. And again, it's that once in a lifetime experience. That again, not to say that everybody has to do that. They don't. But if that's a value to you, and if how you want to remember this time in your life is by creating this experience for everybody that loves you most, I think it's really important to understand like what that really costs.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we see a lot of comments of like, oh, my first house costs that much. I could buy a car for that. And it's like, that's great. But for this couple, that wasn't important to them. They wanted to spend it on this week or weekend of events. And so I just think having like some open-mindedness and grace towards that too. It's like everyone's different. And like that's totally okay. But we talk about budget and money and guest count because that correlates hand in hand like right away, so that they know once we start pulling in their vendor team and those price points that they don't have that sticker shock.
Well, also knowing what they're signing up for.
Exactly.
Like you're the planners and you're going to be opening the doors to them, to these great wedding professionals. This is what it's going to be minimum with us. And this could be sky's the limit.
Well, and it's also really important because we're percentage.
I know. That's the theme, everybody.
It's also really important because we are percentage pricing based. And so we don't want a couple to ever think that we are trying to drive up the cost of their wedding. We want to give them like, okay, for all the things that you want, we think that we can hit this target number. Or if this is your target number, these are the things that we can get within that number. Now, if you want to go bigger and better than that, that's totally okay. Not even better, but bigger.
Right.
It's totally okay. Just understanding that like that means that the overall cost of your wedding is going to go up. That means our fee does go up. And that's why we have to be really transparent about those conversations, because we don't want anyone to ever feel, and I don't think they ever have, but to ever feel like, oh, well, YJ is just showing me all this stuff so that I spend more money and they make more, because that's not our goal. Our goal is to stay in your budget.
And we've had in the initial consult people say, this is our guest count, this is the venue we booked, this is our budget. Is that realistic? And we tell them like, yeah, we don't ever say no, but we're like, listen, we think you'd be more comfortable within this range. And they appreciate that honesty up front. They normally book with us because we're just setting the precedent of like, we are on your team, we're honest, we're transparent, and like we're gonna keep you updated on your budget throughout the whole process so you can make the rest.
I just know like having that conversation if I was a bride and then going back to Dad and be like, Dad, this is what they're saying. And they don't believe it. And then you're like, well, talk to Dad. And like, and then once they talk to you, then somehow it always is okay.
Moms and dads, whoever's paying foot in the bill, we'll talk to them. And I don't think there's ever been one dad or mom that's pushed back. Once we give them the realistic cost of things, they're like, oh, okay, well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. They just want to know where their money is going and how it's being spent. And then they can respect expect it in a way.
Okay, then say the parents that come in, they're listening, and they're like, yep, let them be the planner, let them execute, but I'm gonna do my own magic and try to get like my own flatware and, try to save the budget. Like, what happens in that moment for you guys? Because they sign the contract and they go rogue.
We're padding a little bit,
Yeah.
in the water a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's not to say that like if you have a great connection that has, all the tablewares and you want to bring that in, okay, that's fine. We just want to make sure that we have everything inventoried. We know exactly what we're getting. We know that
Contract of some kind of
yeah, we need some kind of a contract because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong with those tablewares, you're not going to be mad at the tableware person. You're going to be mad at us.
Yeah.
So
or like the aunt.
Right, totally.
We're going to hear about it.
yeah. So we want to make sure that like we can have as much control over as much as we need to have so that we can produce what people are envisioning, which they can't always
I was just
describe.
gonna say, this is the reason why they hired you, because they wanted
Yeah.
the day to be great and like flawless,
And we
right,
don't
and
wanna step on, like,
effortless.
moms or aunties' toes. Like, we want them to be a part of it too. But like sometimes there's a better way of like bringing them to the floral viewing and the tasting and like letting them have their opinion at those meetings. But like they're hiring the rental company and the florist to do it instead of them doing it on the day of. But like they felt like they had their say or their input on the wedding because it's their day too. Like they raise these kids. Speaking of that, like thinking of my 6-year-old's wedding, I'm like, I'm gonna be in full control.
I know. I'm like, I'm sorry to whoever has.
Sorry about
Is it
that.
as their future
Boy
mother
or
or girl?
girl, so
Oh, so
yeah.
it's like mother of the bride
Yeah.
moment. Oh,
Listen, this is,
She's going to be a
never allowed in the
momzilla
house.
for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. I will be a momzilla.
I think you've earned that right.
Okay, let's talk about branding as a couple, because you launched a new business, Wedwear, right?
Yep.
So that is a very like hot thing of like couples branding their wedding day. Like, how does that journey start? Do you bring it to them as like something or to the table?
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
like,
go.
you go.
So branding a wedding, I think, comes again from that relationship piece. Like as we get to know a couple, we hear all of the little things about them that make them who they are. We hear that they, their first date was to get espresso martinis at a little speakeasy. We hear that they are obsessed with their dog and they like do something random, I don't know, whatever it is. And then we find ways to weave that into the day so that it feels like unequivocally that couple. And that can be through like creating, a monogram that starts on their invitation and ends on their to-go bags for desserts. It can also just be through branding it to really, really, truly feel like them. Like if Ashley were a brand, what would my space feel like? If you were coming into the Ashley and my boyfriend Justin's brand, what would that space feel like?
I would love to see that.
God, I'll be honest, I don't know what that looks like.
Jurassic Park and elegance.
We can't. And there would be Harry
go to that
Potter, and there
party.
would be Lord of the Rings. It would be a disaster. Maybe that's why we haven't gotten married. Who knows? But what would that space feel like? What would the food taste like? What would it smell like? Like all of those things go into a brand. Like
I love
the
the
brands that we all know and love, you walk into the store and you know what to expect because you know that brand so well.
That experience.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for a wedding day. And I mean, I come from a marketing background, so like branding a wedding is like gets me real
That's your love.
pumped.
Yes.
But it can start, and those things can also trail into like bachelorette parties. They can trail into your shower. They can trail into the bachelor party, and it create this whole experience of the wedding that is, again, uniquely just that couple.
And with like the bachelor party and bachelorette parties, like our best DJs, the best DJs that we work with will ask the couples out, like, what was your anthem at your bachelor party? What was your anthem at your bachelorette party? So like
Cute.
when that song hits the dance floor, that's part of the branding too, because everyone goes back to
connecting
that
the
moment,
experience,
and they're
yes.
just, like,
And they're all the dance
vibing.
floor, it's our
Exactly.
anthem.
Exactly. So it's all a completion of
Yeah,
the whole wedding process.
branding
gotta
is about
find
the
her.
5
Yeah.
senses.
Yes, we do.
So how do they utilize Wedwear? Like what do you offer?
Shopwedwear.com.
Yeah,
Utilize it.
Yeah, so we definitely have stuff for couples,
Yes.
but there's so many places that you can get products as a couple for your wedding. So one of the things that I think is a little bit different about Wedwear is we also have a huge focus on the vendor teams. So we have like hats, t-shirts, glassware,
Towels, beach towels.
Yeah, all the things for wedding vendors that, say things that we are always saying. Like, I'm wearing, you can't really see it because it's black on black.
So good.
I was reading
But,
it actually. during this,
but it says, I can't, I have a wedding. And as
So
a wedding
true.
vendor,
It just resounds
how many
with
times have we said that?
Yep.
Our hats, like wedding planning, or weddings are my cardio.
I just love
totally
that
true.
'cause
So
it's
true.
like, it's a niche, a real niche. Like, you guys are, teamwork is such a big part of it. I think it's a really cool opportunity to brand your team. Like we were just talking about branding and like,
But we're all the wedding professionals just branding together because we are such a specific, like, special community. So, like, doing this is really, really, really cool.
Yeah, we have drops coming up like specific to the vendor category. So DJs,
Florists.
photos, florists, and like fun things. We've branched out and reached out to our friends, obviously within the industry, and like,
Yeah.
what do you guys want to see? Like, what do you guys want to wear when you show up on a wedding day for a setup and tear down and everything in between? And we're making that into product for them.
Yeah.
Just to like have a little more fun too. Like, why
yeah.
not?
that
We
is
have
so
that fun.
fun.
We're we said, giving up our weekends and our nights with
Exactly.
them,
And
our
look
wedding
cute.
professionals.
Yeah.
We might as well like have a little bond together and look cute, exactly, and
Yeah.
be functional.
Yeah.
Love
we also,
some
Black.
Yeah.
we also
lots of
have a pride line as well that I think is really valuable because we hear all the time wedding vendors say, like, how do I let LGBTQ couples know that they are safe with my business? And if you haven't ever gotten to work with an LGBTQ couple, it's really hard. Like, yes, you can do a styled shoot. Yes, you can do these things. But it's hard to attract, right? So we do have a whole line that is, what does it say? I do weddings with pride. Yeah.
How
And
cool. I love
that.
you
that.
can get a t-shirt, you can get a hat, you can get a glass, like there's tons of stuff.
I would
so like
love
you
to
can
wear
do
that.
Yeah. And
And
it's-
everybody wants to do with pride.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like a subtle way of saying that, like, you are welcome here and you're safe
you're
here.
inclusive.
Yeah.
Love that.
And I think it's one of those things that, having done a lot of work nationally with wedding vendors, I hear it over and over again, and so we were trying to look for a solution that can help people show couples that they're welcome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Awesome. You guys are just killing it.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
And again, you always bring something new to the table, like wetwear. So that is such a good, like, new endeavor for you guys. And I know you're going to rock it because that's what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we are all done for today on Wedding Day Podcast. Thank you, you two, for sitting with us.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you next time. See you. Bye.